By the way, Jean-Pierre, another $5. Lame question. Feel free to interpret however you wish, but thoughts on Jordan Peterson? Have you talked about him before? Is that a joke? Because people ask me about him every single freaking live stream. Maybe I should just do a video on him. I don't know. P.S. OpenBSD uses Xenocara, a fork of Xorg. Among among other things, does not have to run as root. Okay, that's good to know. Jordan Peterson. Maybe I should just do a video, but I will tell you what I always say about him. Firstly, I never trusted him, okay? So I will tell you this, Jordan Peterson gives what look like red pills to people, but I've always been, since he's been around, I've always been like past his level, you know, like, I don't know, maybe if you're like sort of a normie, Jordan Peterson could be sort of red pilling, like he can introduce you to new things, like, whoa dude, like maybe boys and girls are different, dude, oh my goodness, this is crazy. But like I've sort of always been higher than his red pill level, so like it's not even stuff I would consume anyway. But he in particular has always rubbed me, like I've always been really suspicious of him because this sounds like a bullying thing, but he's a weak guy. Like he's not emotionally all together. He's always falling apart and kind of crying about things, and like he's really floaty and like unassertive, and just like everything he talks about is so inane. Like I just, and I guess one of the reasons he got popular among pseudo-Christians and stuff like that is because he talked a lot about religion, and he talked about a lot of conservative or traditional things, but he's selling this poison pill, sort of. Like, he sells this kind of religion. Now, he's not a real Christian. He sometimes sometimes pretends to say things like, oh, I act as if God exists, but he doesn't. Like, he doesn't go to church. He doesn't, like, do anything, like, religious. He doesn't tell people to be, like, he doesn't. You know what I mean? So he's one of these proponents of this idea that religion is all like a big self-help metaphor. And none of it really exists except for your ego. Like, it's all a big, I don't know, it's totally inane, and it's annoying that people see him and they think he's like a Christian guy, or like he's saying these red pill things, where he's really just taking traditionalism and religion and capital T traditionalism as well, and he's selling them as this kind of like this parody. This, it's just to make you feel good about yourself. It's about you to overcome your Goliaths. And it's like, what is this, like, it's top 40 radio hits Christianity, you know, which is really just, and the worst thing about it is that in all his research, now, he takes a lot of stuff from Jung, and Jung is at least better at this, because Jung, he'll talk about archetypes, but Jung has always said, yeah, the archetype of God exists in the human mind, but that doesn't mean that God exists or not exists. You know, just, we can say that God is something psychological, but he still might exist in reality, right? Jung is unopinionated about that. But Peterson is smuggling in this kind of materialism where all of this stuff, oh, God exists, quote unquote, because he exists in your brain. That more or less is the kind of stuff that he's offering, which is just an extreme nihilism, extreme materialism. And Jung is a very well-read guy, okay? He read medieval literature, he read theologians, he read alchemists, he knew this kind of stuff, and he was putting it in this kind of Freudian, the kind of, I don't want to say Jewish, but Jewish, like the kind of thing that people were doing at this time, where they were making everything materialistic. And he put it in a way that would make sense to this materialistic mind, right? But Jung still left open the possibility that there are real non-materialistic things. Peterson is closing off that possibility, and he talks about everything as if, yeah, none of this is real. It's just like a bunch of imagination. That is why I'm just not a big fan of Jordan Peterson. And, you know, now it's been like 5 mental breakdowns of his later, and I really don't understand the draw to him, frankly. Other than he's a guy who sort of says conservative stuff, and the mainstream media, they'll like pretend to come for him and stuff, but really in a way where, I mean, the whole intellectual dark web, okay, that was something the media put out as like, these are the guys, these are the edgy guys you're allowed to believe. Don't go any further than this. Don't actually look into any of this kind of, don't be a real Christian. Don't be real traditional. You have to think everything is like a big metaphor and all this crap. You can believe in these guys if you want to be edgy, but don't go any further. And that is what Jordan Peterson is. He's a kind of he's kind of for Joe Rogan people, you know, who know that like liberal BS is like all a big lie and it's a big hoax. They're the kind of people who, you know, who do the lab leak hypothesis. They're like, oh, I see there's BS out there. Maybe there's like a lab leak. You know, it's the same kind of thing. It's meeting people halfway and giving them this kind of poison pill of mediocrity that is totally defanged. And the worst thing about it is that it concedes the high ground to the enemies. It says, oh yes, I, Jordan Peterson, I don't actually believe in any of this stuff. I'm fully a materialist. I don't believe in anything but atoms. You know, I consent to all whatever, you know, the science says. The science meaning institutional science. Yeah, so that's why I don't like it. Okay? So maybe I should just do a video on Jordan Peterson, because I have to give this speech every single live stream because people ask. I need to just put up a freaking video on it, okay? Anyway, all right, it's getting late in the stream because, you know, I'm starting to scratch my nose. I don't know why that happens, you know. Itchy nose whenever I'm talking.